hear me? Let me know down below if you can hear me, because then we got 50% of this little show going. But first of all, let me know how you blockchain bully. How are you then? Good to see you. SKS Korea Express Austria. That sounds, I mean, I've lived in Austria. Maybe we even met before. NFT3. How are you doing? Some Russian there. We got random. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Wall Street Bet is here. Crypto Charlie. I love those names. Shahid Meet my soul brother. The two names I really love. If the two names, DLF is here. How are you doing? And my good friend Dax989. If the two names I really like is Blockchain Bully, I love that. I always love it. And Crypto Charlie. And of course, Mr. Marshall always reminds me of Eminem. Today, the last stream, at least for my live stream, for the year 2022. Now, what have we really been seeing in 2022? I don't know. What did we say? I think, in many points of view, it's been a little bit of a shit year, I think we could say, right? I mean, what do you say? No, him down there. What a big pook. But yeah, let's have a quick look here before we start. I chose here I want to make it a little bit different, as always. Here we're looking at a 2-year chart, right? So, 2-year chart. So 2021 was a marvelous year, a fantastic year. 2022 has been, look at this. It's from here, basically. All we have done in 2022 is go down. I mean, how can that be fun? I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I admire every single one of you who are here. We have had an entire year going down. What a shit show. Anyway, let's hope that we can put 2022 behind us. Well, it looks like we are gonna put 2022 behind us. And today, what I am gonna do is I am gonna mention a lot of coins. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Web3 infrastructure. Briefly mention, what they are. Obviously, it's storage, it's digital identity, it's computation. Maybe I forgot something, but anyway, we're gonna go through that. And I will also share our core holdings for 2023. There are quite a lot of them, so we need to get going. Just remember, shitty unless you buy 90% of the all-time high. That's the spirit, my friend, that's the spirit. And just remember, this stream is only for the sexy looking people.
This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people.
So I hope you're sexy. Anyway, it's time to start, and it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps, the last live stream of 2022. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then do me a favor, hit like, smash, and subscribe so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is truly important to me, protect yourself, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Harachi, and I'm the host of the littlest show on the interweb. Isn't that wonderful? So, first things first, as always. Well, we look here at the 15-minute chart, and as I always like to point out, they more or less correlate. And what are we seeing now? We're seeing Bitcoin down 0.73%. We're seeing Ethereum down 0.48%. And we are seeing Cardano down 1.1% at 26 cents on the dollar. I gotta say, I did not see that by Cardano happening, but I gotta also say, on the other hand, Charles, he needs to push on. And there's so little interest currently into the crypto market, right? Polkadot at $4.48, down 1.19%. So as we leave this year here behind us, I like, technical. I'm a technical analytic gift to mankind, right? And and this is the 7-day moving average on the weekly, and this is what we use. Now, you really got to scroll out in order to see currently we are. Last week we closed above the 7-day moving average, right? That doesn't necessarily say a lot. This week we're still even. They go. You see the purple. The purple one is. It goes. We can't really see it, but I still believe that we are that we are above. Now, remember, this is technical analysis for idiots, right? Because it doesn't really mean anything. However, there are a few indicators that I'm sure you've heard of. Well, first of all, let's just, with this 7-day moving average on the weekly, it's kind of like when was the last time that we broke through the 7-day moving average? That's like 7-8 weeks ago. Now that only lasted 2 weeks, right? So it has nothing to say. However, I would, my point of view is, once we are above it, are we going to close this last week of the year above it? And we already had last week above it. Well, it could. We got to, keep an eye on that. Furthermore, what is interesting, obviously you see here the volume here. I mean, that's huge amount of volume, even if we go back all the way to 19. I mean, look at this volume. I mean, huge. And this is not just FTX, Sam Bankman, whatever, and or Terra Luna. I mean, there's a lot of volume. Now, this is not always, well, it is usually the case. So we'll go back to 2017, 2018, and, just to put things a little bit into perspective, it's not as clear to see, but we see, so we had the high here, that was in the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018. Then we also had a year, right? A year when we went down, 14 months, I think it was. And then we hit, around the $3,000. However, you can see that here the volume also significantly picked up, and especially if you take me away, then you can even see it more clearly. Now, yes, we can see here that there is volume increase. It's higher. Obviously, it is nothing compared to the explosion in volume as we're seeing here. Does it really have something to say? I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But we will try to come to terms with this. I think that's all we need to look at from this moment, and then let's go back here and see if anybody is in the mood for a quick chit chat before we go in. Yeah, we got the Persian Empire, we got Nasser Meet, and we got our lovely lady Sandra in the house. By the way, if you join our Telegram group, then you can see how, we were blessed. Cherry, she came back from, sometimes she likes to hang out in bars, right? And she likes to hang out in this bar called Kakadu, just around the corner from Black Mamba. Anyway, she came yesterday and she was cooking cutletas, lovely cutletas. If that's something you want to look at, come and join our Telegram group. By the way, so what do you say, SKS Korea could be, what is a cuckoo, a cool, I don't know, let me know, specify. And just in time, and let me say anything, thank you very much, your name as well. And we got Bogdan, Boba, how are you doing? Good to see you. And I can see, and the DLF, let's just check if we are the strong, we're the littlest channel on the interweb. I mean, there's also something about that, right? Small together, forever. Okay, let's see if there's gonna be any questions. Obviously, I would love to take them. What do you say? I would love to take the questions in the end if there are any, right? So regarding the portfolio, or I mean the coins that we're gonna go through, and let me see here. It could be a couple of time at 18,500 USD after Bitcoin goes up. Yeah, we love you, Dan. Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, yeah, let's get in because timing is a bitch. We all know that, right? And that's the one thing that I've always said is the most difficult aspect of investing. Anyway, by now, well, first of all, I think before we just start off, I mean, it is the last stream, right? We do need to have a Bahama Mama moment. Bahama Mama. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So you got a new glass too, right? Present from Kitty. Okay, just 1 second. I don't have this slide completely updated, but as we're seeing here, the historical corrections, right? I'm going to go through, I need to go quick. 13 to 15, we had 14 months. We had 85% drop from the all-time high. 17 to 18, we had 12 months, and we had 83% drop from the all-time high. Now you can see I have not updated. It says November 21 to November 2022, but the fact is that we are already in December, right? So we're in the 13th month, and the largest drop down we have seen was at 15,708, and that was only 77%. Now, I was wrong, right? I mean, I guess I was wrong. I mean, we gotta be honest. We gotta be honest when we talk, you and I, right? I did not. I mean, my prediction, and this is important because my prediction was that we would see 12,000 in December, right? That's what I said. Now let's just go and have a quick look at that. So if we look at this chart here, right? So this was in 2021. It was in the beginning of 2022. In fact, in the third week of January in 2022, around here when we were around 40,000, 38 to 40,000. Then at that time, I made a bold prediction and I said we're going to see most likely 12,000 by December. Okay, we saw 15,000. We saw 15,000. We haven't seen 12. Is 12 going to come? I honestly don't know. And based on the things that we've spoken about the volume, about the timing, as we can see. So we're in the 13th month, which means that we are officially, if you want to call it officially, in the second longest Bitcoin, bear market that we have seen, in 10 years or whatever it is, long time. Are we going to move further down? I don't know. If you look at the traditional markets, it could look like, because I do believe that the traditional markets, they need to implode. But, this is, remember, I don't know shit about crypto, and this is not financial advice, and you need to do your own financial research. But as Vaxi was pointing out, I mean, we have at this point in this channel, we have been able to predict that it was going to go down. It didn't make the year. Well, it did make the year a lot more interesting, right? Because if you had followed this channel, then you would have sold, and you would have put some of those coins in the right pocket, in the left pocket, and in the back pocket. And you would be able to get in at these prices, 15,000 we saw. So what I'm saying is, from the moment that we actually exited the market, but would you enter into Bitcoin at 15,000? Well, then my prediction is that we will see Bitcoin at 210,000. Why am I saying 210,000? Again, I could be awfully wrong. And when do I see it? Probably between 2023 and 2025. But it tends to, that when you look at historical previous all-time highs, and then you could get into the new cycles, we usually see it times 3, right? So if we had it around 60,000, 70,000 times 3, that would probably, so I think a good goal could be 210. Of course, that could then be excessive upwards potential. But anyway, you can see the returns. Should we go down to 8,000 in Bitcoin? Well, that would generate you 2,525%, even though still think Bitcoin is great, but I think that altcoins are probably the place that you would want to be. As I have said many times in 2022 and 2021, if you want to be a successful investor, you need discipline, knowledge, wisdom, experience, times, and you got to be unemotional. That is the most important. Most difficult thing about investing, as I keep saying, is timing the market, teaming the market. I mean, it doesn't matter, and it goes across the board, right? It also goes when we are evaluating politics, right? And especially geopolitics. When we look at the current war that's going on, or we're trying, can you time energy market? If we look at the price developments of oil and gas in 2022, very volatile. No one would have thought that right after the war, then the price would first go up and then drop, and vice versa. I mean, a lot of mess that is difficult to predict, but usually, let's say fundamental long term, it's easier to predict. You know what we do in cryptocurrency: staking, farming, not so many stable coins yet. And what are we focusing on more than ever on 2023 is blockchain infrastructure. Still, this is what we're talking about today. The majority is still infrastructure coins related to the Web 3.0. But don't forget about the traditional industries that will migrate onto the blockchain. Now, we've been early. I've been holding some of these, let's say, traditional coins, like insurance coins, right? That are going to be playing going to play the same part of the current financial system as they're doing today. They will on the blockchain, like insurance, right? So we need that. Anyway, that's still the best thing you can do is average in and average out. Dollar cost averaging is still one of the best. So this is what we are what Betty, what I'm holding for Betty, right? A lot of altcoins. Stablecoin is probably a little bit lower. We couldn't refresh this little slide here. And we also hold some gold and silver. Remember, when it comes to the ecosystems that we are focusing on, it is Ethereum. It is Kusama's Polkadot. We love still Binance. And here, this has also not been updated. Currently, we're not making any bets in the Solana ecosystem. And the Cardano ecosystem, there are not so many bets to make. Right? And remember, we love Algorand. So these are the centralized exchanges that we trade on, and we will continue to do that in 2023. Now, you could take Gate, see, when I use, anyway, this is also, when we use a centralized exchange, I don't keep Betty's coins there for longer than necessary, right? Why am I using these? I'm using these 5. Well, first of all, I think Kraken is first class all the way. Binance, I think, is first class. I still think Kraken is a little bit more first class, even though Binance is bigger, right? KuCoin is good. That's like, business class, I think. And then we got Gate and Huobi is like economy class, right? But nevertheless, sometimes you can't get access to those tokens that you might want to trade on, on only one exchange. So it's good that you have yourself an account with, and I would recommend these exchanges. We use them, and until now we haven't really had any problems. But remember, in and out, right? In and out. In and out, yeah. So decentralized exchanges, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, we have used NetSwap. Let's see what's going to happen there, and Radium, of course. So that's Solana. So as I said, it's not completely updated, but Uniswap, the ultimate decentralized exchange. However, it also goes when you use the decentralized exchanges, right? You go in, you buy, you sell, right? And you keep your coins in your hardware ledger wallet. So there's no risk of losing that. As we said before, what is we gonna focus on? Infrastructure and traditional industries, and it's important for 2023. Here we go. This is the first. Here we try to get these are the major, let's say that some of the major holdings that Betty is holding. Some of them from the old times, but we are averaging in, and I will mention more the ones that I think that you really should focus on. Bitcoin, we hold very little portion of Bitcoin, that's for sure. Ethereum was the first coin we got into in 2015 and 2016. Anyway, Polkadot we love. Cardano we are holding. Let's see what's going to happen. Binance, of course, we have some. Uniswap, decentralized. I think it's the decentralized exchange of the future. The Chainlink. I mean, I think that is, if you know, it's the Oracle, right? It's the Oracle. Then Kusama. We've been talking about Chromia. I mean, Chromia doesn't get up in the same league as the ones I just mentioned, right? But could also have lots of, risk-reward potential. We're like Ren, still Ren, but that's also because we've been in it for a long time. VeChain, I think that's a separate ecosystem that has proven. I think that VeChain is going to get a lot of recognition once we're going to see blockchain mass adoption, which will come obviously when we are seeing the full Web 3.0 infrastructural implementation. But more important than, you see, the Web 3.0 is really being developed, right? But we need the CBDC. And let me put it like that. I think more than 100 countries across the globe are, I wouldn't say in the end phase, but they are in the phases and stages of very soon being able to launch their own CBDC. So engine on the wall, who is the prettiest of them all? And when it comes to gaming and everything that has to do with that, I think Engine has lots of potential. It's also down. Make a DAO, we love that. So for those of you who are new, and this is too many, I would say Maker, DeFi. See, I do believe that in order for the cryptocurrency market to take off, or the blockchain, I always loved that I'm a big fan of Ivan on Tech. And when he refers to the last cycle that we had that started in 2020, right? He was saying that was basically the DeFi cycle. And so on some of his recent videos, he's trying to refer to what is it that we need in order to kickstart the third or the next cycle. And I will tell you right now, because there's no one that's better than I am. It will be the CBDCs. it will be the Web 3.0 infrastructure that will be ready to, store data on the blockchain, that you are able to transact with the CBDC from your country. I don't think that we're going to see a technical, revolutionary something that's going to make this whole thing explode. No, I think it is really the launch of the CBDC. And once the CBDC has been launched, you need the infrastructure. And these are the infrastructure tokens that that Betty is holding, right? So that's why I think DeFi is one of the first, most important, because we also, I think, as we are moving towards the CBDC, we're going to see the Federal Reserve, or the national reserve banks across the globe kind of being the single most important bank as it is now, but they will probably be launching their CBDCs, and we're going to see the current banking infrastructure, most likely the majority of them, disappear. We don't need any saving banks, or we don't even mortgage lending banks, because we have that on the blockchain already, like with Aave, right? Like with Curve, like with Synthetics, like with Compound. Oh, I need a sip here. So you can see here we got a little bit of everything. And yeah, any questions, then let me know. Of course, I like Thorchain Runes. It's its own ecosystem. So let's move on to the next one, and let's see here. This is what I want to talk about. The Web3 infrastructure, right? So these four components: file storage, computation, wireless connectivity, and blockchain data and digital identity. So, you can use many words, but these, I guess, are the four core areas. The first one is obviously decentralized storage, file storage, right? And these protocols include Filecoin, Storj, SIA, and Arweave. These are the ones that we prefer, even though our, Arweave is where we recently just entered. We've been holding Storj and SIA for the longest period of time. I have to check if we have Filecoin, but then if we hold it, it's a very small position. Anyway, so they have emerged to serve in the critical layer of the Web3 infrastructure stack. And these protocols, they represent over 80% of the Web 3.0 infrastructure. It's total, fully diluted valuation. And as boring as, Filecoin has been around for a long time around. Currently, you can get that, I think it's down, I can't really see, I think down 98% from its all-time high, right? And Storj, storage, I guess they call them. We've been holding it for a long time. So little volume, but they have also been around, down 93% from its all-time high. But they are going to, I believe, they're going to play a vital role in the future of finance. SIA coin, also you can see all of them, they've been around for a long time, down 97%. And then we got Arweave down 92%. Now, if you want to, if it's always, of course, best to diversify, right? Because you never know who is actually going to be the ultimate winner. Just like the Ultimate Warrior, right? In the good old days from WWF, right? Nobody knew that he was gonna, be the ultimate winner, and then, and then he died before everybody else. But that's a different thing. Computation, compute resources are needed for a range of application and services, including rendering, hosting, and streaming. So Web3 compute protocols, they allow node operators to receive payment for renting out their computing resources. And here they're mentioning two. I have to say, there's also an old slide. We don't hold, on behalf of Betty, no A cache. That could be a mistake, maybe, but we don't. We are holding LivePeer, and we've been holding LivePeer for quite a while. Also, you probably know Grayscale, right? And Grayscale, they also have their own LivePeer trust. So I think they have, I think LivePeer is also going to have a lot of fun in the future. Now, but here, Betty's been so nice to make a chart here. Here we can see LivePeer is down 94%. from its all-time high. And I actually, if I remember correctly, the first time we entered live, it was like at $6. So that's even below what we entered at that time, and then we sold it at, I can't remember, but we make good profits. If you follow this channel, you will know. You will know. Now, Acash, again, I mean, maybe I should not mention this because I literally do not have any relationship to Acash. Simply no time, but it's down 97%. And I guess, yeah, I mean, I have to remember, do your own research. I don't know shit about crypto, as you know. So the next important, part of the infrastructure is obviously blockchain data. And I've been speaking a lot about the graph, right? And I think you know that it's a decentralized protocol used to index and query data from blockchains. And obviously demand comes from data consumers, typically app developers, who pay a fee per query to node operators. Speaking a lot about the graph, I think it has huge potential. And you can also see as it launched, that was in 2021, I mean, it skyrocketed. It was almost like, it was the darling, the sexy looking lady, the sexy looking data collector. And rose to, what is it? Glasses or something, but it rose very high, right? But now it's down 97%, hardly any volume, but I still think that's going to play a vital part in the Web 3.0 future. Then we got, and this is a thing that we did not have prior here on this presentation list, is the digital identity. And it's also because I think that the digital identity is going to, I mean, let's get back to the central bank digital currency, right? Programmable money. So in order to have this programmable money, it needs to be tied to your identity. So it goes without saying that once we're going to have the CBDC, we need a digital identity. Now, there are many different protocols trying, the race, who is going to be the digital identity provider. There are many, so it's very, I think it's very early stages to say. However, I think that that the Web3 identity is a system that allows users to manage their online identities in a more secure and efficient way without relying on a central authority. Now, I took this because this is basically how you find it in Google, without relying on a central authority. No, that's unfortunately not how it's going to work, right? It's going to be a digital identity issued most likely by the government, the same government that will issue the CBDC. So it's not going to be, it's going to be very much a central digital identity. But hey, we're not here to talk about politics. Remember that, right? But so the ones that we are holding and that we have some bigger position, not we, Betty, is in Kilt and Litentry. Those are the two. As of now, we will increase once we find better ones in 2023, because it can also be, you see, digital identities and the parameters that are necessary, demanded, I think it's by the United Nations or the World Health Organization or the IMF or, some of those fancy organizations, of which I love, the IMF the most, only because I like Sister Kristalina, right? I mean, who cannot trust this sweet old lady? So, you need the CBDC. Boom. And I think with that, that will go hand in hand with the CBDC and, as I said, the digital identity on the blockchain. They have already issued a certain amount of, let's say, standards standards that needs to be in line in order for these identities to be rolled out. So there can come other new potential protocols, but currently Kilt and Litentry. When you look at Kilt protocol, which I think is also a major player within the Polkadot ecosystem, they've got good connections to Robinhood, right? Gavin Wood, and it's currently down 96%. Kilt, I think, if I remember, one of the first top 5. I can't remember when they won the first parachains, and it also really doesn't matter because now you can lease yourself a parachain for $200 right from the back pocket. But anyway, I think Kilt have the technology. They've been around for a long time, and they're working on that hard. So 96% down. Let's just see here to comparison with a market cap of 42 million. Because if you look at Litentry here, they have a market cap of 28 million. They're down 94%. I think both of them have potential. Again, you know, you never know who's gonna as the best sales guy, people, and ultimately what is going to be the best technology that they have. And thank God, guys, we did it. We did it almost. Also a little bit about the Polkadot Kusama portfolio. As you can see here, I really think you should focus on, you know, maybe only on the core. If you are a Polkadot fan, as I am, I think Polkadot is sexy looking, and I think they're gonna play also a very big role in helping traditional companies migrate on to the blockchain. And therefore, you know, it's funny because Ivan on Tech, he's not such a big fan of it, but I love it. All I gotta say. So I would, if you are new, I would recommend you Akala, Moonbeam, and a Star. If you want to diversify a little bit more into the Polkadot ecosystem, then I would also add a cross network and, as I said, Litentry, Kyling, and Betty holds quite a portion of Kyling. But if you are very new, then perhaps that could be the risk reward potential could be too much. Parallel finance we also hold, but that's simply because, yeah, I would put that, you know, if you're new and you're only looking to invest in 3, Akala, Moonbeam, and a Star, and then the other 4, risk reward, you gotta do your own research. Sorry, a little frog here. It's the little frog. So Kusama, yeah, there are of course also some, you know, a lot of speculation. Is Kusama, do we really need this, you know, ugly cousin test network when we got Polkadot? Well, I do think they're different. I mean, the standards are different. Kusama, I think the last time I read, offer, you know, higher significant speed. I think both of them have their rights. And so in Kusama, I would go for the top 3, which are actually the same. The Polkadot, it's Karura, which is like Akala, it's Sheeden, which is a Star, and it's Moon River, which is Moon. And again, Kilt, we like Kilt, Altair, and Crossed Shadow. Maybe you would have to be a little bit more, have a higher risk appetite. But we are trying, you know, I think here we got a good top 6 in Kusama, and I think also top 6 in Polkadot, where we kind of try to cover all those angles of the Web 3.0. So that's it. Oh, and then we're also holding, you know, just for the very, very, very risky. We are holding some Firebird, which was the former Red Kite Poker Foundry. If you follow this channel, we made a lot of money on at the time when when the initial gaming offering was hot. Not so hot right now, but we exited, we made good profits, and then we re-entered, and we invested here 10,000, and we are in the highest stage, which is the Phoenix. And should it reach its previous all-time high, well, then that would generate maybe 251,000 from a 10,000 investment that we already made good returns on that in the past. We don't game, you know, but and gamify.org, it's the same as at 5,000. It could potentially hit 182,000, and we are here in the elite status. If you want to be a pro, it's a different. But the gaming, I think we are far away from. I mean, that's really the last thing I would recommend any of you who are new. If you got a few coins in the back pocket you don't know what to do with, and you think that the gaming is gonna come again, and you know a thing or two about gaming, then why not? Okay, let's go and see if anyone has any questions for this last live stream of the year. Hallelujah, this is the best part. Time to chit chat. So what do we see here? I have Polkadot the t-shirt and watch in my kitchen, but there, well, that must mean you also have a picture of Gavin Wood, yeah, you know, naked. I think I'm not sure, but I think Gavin Wood, he likes you. I mean, I shouldn't say, but I don't think he's married. I don't really like that. So I love stacking Moonbeam. There you go. There you go, Frank. I mean, I love that you're still. I mean, I have also, for those of you who are new, right? Shahid, he was here before I was, so we basically came here very, very early. And Vex 989, always here, and I feel that he's probably one of the who has followed most of my, recommendations, or Betty's recommendation, and I think it's been going quite well. I think that's why. So I hope I'm happy to hear that. So what do you say, Tom B? Don't own any A-Cash, but I've been following for a while now. Will be my. Oh, I'm happy. Thank you, Tom B. Thank you, because if it's valuable information, because I did not have time to follow them. So it's nice to hear, and I know Tom B is also regular, so that's something we trust. So guys, I love you, John Jones. And what do you say, blockchain bully? 210k by 2024. BTC next halving could also be. I think it's sometimes between 2023 and 2025. Again, as I've always said, it is so difficult to time the market. Random is saying optimism is the one to watch. I think you are completely right. And we were actually also, when Optimism, they had their initial launch, we were participating. I did that, and we made a video about that, and we did participate, and we got some reward tokens, and it was a little, I found it was a little chaotic at the time. But I can absolutely only agree with you, and thank you, because I think Optimism is very much, what is it, a layer 2 solution protocol that has a lot of potential, risk reward, beautiful. We don't have it. We have not. I mean, we announced at that time. It's a long time ago when we entered, but then we also sold out, cashed in. But we should re-enter, and we would need to make a video on that. So that's all I gotta say about that. And what do you say, SKS? You're also saying, I like that you say BTC doesn't care about war, and I think you're right about that. I think that what is happening here, in Ukraine and Russia and so on. I think that the future of finance, which is ultimately on the blockchain, I think it doesn't care about war, because we are seeing more than 100 countries develop the CBDC. It's good for government. So what's good for government is not good for the people always, but what is good for government usually gets implemented, with or without war. I love you all. You remember, you are all number one. I love you for the fact that you are here. I really, really hope that we'll go through the next cycle together. And today I wanna, I always like to play a little video about, motivation. And I like to talk about the eagle, because I feel that each and every one of us here are an eagle. An eagle, he flies high, he flies alone, right? And he has the vision. And if there's one thing the eagle he loves, it is when a storm comes and elevates him higher. I guess we have all had our fair shares of problems. I have to say, from my point of view, 2022 was shit year. Perhaps one of the worst I've ever had personally. But I'm happy you are here. I love you so much. YouTube and crypto kept my mind straight. Thank you so much. I truly, truly love you. See you next year. That's a good thing.
When the eagle spreads its wings, it's something to behold. It's something to behold. Nearly 9 feet from tip to tip, when it spreads its wings, it was built for high places. It was built to soar. I think you would say meters, about 3 meters. It was built to soar, to fly. It was built to withstand storms, so that when the storm comes and other birds run for shelter, the eagle runs into the storm and uses the storm to lift it up so that it can fly above the storm. You know you're an eagle when you ran into a storm that you thought was going to kill you, and instead of it killing you, it lifted you higher than you've ever been lifted before. It's a sure sign you're an eagle. Can you hear me tonight? Spread those wings and it begins to fly. It can see several miles. Even in the night, it can see its prey and its opponent. Eagles are awesome birds. The eagle knows that he ain't hooked up with no chicken, because its old chicken can't get up in the air that high. It might think the eagle is pretty cute, but it can't get up there where the eagles fly, because its body is fat and its wings are too short and it can only flap up a little ways and fall back down again. And some of you have got a lot of eagles that are trying, you are eagles and you've got a lot of chickens that are trying to flap up there and get where you are. But God will take you to a place where you can only hook up with other eagles, and eagles are, oh, do you hear what I'm saying to you? So don't be frustrated when you see the chickens flapping up and falling down, because at this stage in your life, it's time for you to be synergistic with other eagles. Eagles love on another level. Eagles live on another level. Eagles think on another level. Eagles function on another level. Eagles dream on another level. Eagles build on another level. Glory to God. If you had somebody reject you, leave you, walk out the door, stop crying about it. It was just a chicken. What you need is another eagle with wings and dreams and visions and concepts and ideas, who's not jealous of you, who's not intimidated by you, who's not fighting you. You know that it's an eagle when they're not jealous of you. You know it's another eagle when they can think thoughts like you think. You know it's another eagle when they can pray for you and help you to get to the next level. It's only the chickens that are down on the ground talking about everybody. Wonder how much further you would be if you would focus on being synergistic with other eagles, rather than expending your energy trying to change chickens.